Next, in last class we have started object oriented concepts and or object oriented principles, and we have discussed what is a class and what is the object and what is the relation between class and object we have seen. Okay, now in this session, so we are going to talk about object oriented principles. Okay, so learning Java programming is nothing but learning all these concepts programmatically. Okay, learning Java programming is nothing but learning all these concepts. Okay, so now we'll start abstraction. So what is a abstraction? So abstraction is nothing but it is a process of hiding internal implementation and showing only essential information to the user. Okay, it is a process of hiding internal implementation and showing essential information to the user. Okay, now if you take an example, so suppose take Google Chrome example. Okay, take a Google Chrome example. So this Google Chrome looks small icon. Okay, small round icon. Okay, now when you tap on Google Chrome, it will open one big window. Okay, so this small icon turns into a big window. So means internally some code is running. Okay, so being a developer, you must hide this implementation. Being a developer, you must hide this this implementation. Okay, and you need to display only essential information to the user. Means, so in background some code is running. Okay, some lines of code is running. Okay, so that execution process is not required to the user. Okay, so you must hide that information here. Okay, you must hide that information here. So this process is called what? Abstraction. Okay, so take one more example. Suppose if you visit any ATM, so you will find these what options. Okay, so like balance inquiry, withdrawal and deposit, and some ATMs it is a deposit option, and next services. Okay, so when you are performing balance inquiry option, or when you are performing withdrawal option, so when you press withdrawal button, so user may not require what kind of program it is running and what kind of query it is internally it is calling. So that information is not required by the user. Okay, you have to hide this information. This process is called abstraction. Okay, so how can we achieve abstraction in Java? Means, so we have a what? Abstract methods or abstract classes. First, abstract classes and interfaces. Okay, abstract class and interface concept we have. So abstract class, and by using abstract class and interfaces we can achieve abstraction feature in Java. Okay, so what is abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but it is a process of hiding internal implementation and showing only essential information to the user. This process is called abstraction. Okay, so how can we achieve abstraction in Java? Means, so by using abstract classes and interfaces. Encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of a data into a single unit is called encapsulation. So encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of a data into a single unit is called encapsulation. So encapsulation means wrapping up of a data into a single unit is called encapsulation. Okay, so encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of a data into a single unit is called encapsulation. Okay, now so suppose take an example programmatically. So here I am taking a class demo. Okay, or class test. Here I'm taking the class test. So here I'm declaring one variable or two variables, like int a equals to some 10, next b equals to some 20. Okay, now so here I'm taking a method, so public void add here. So add, here I'm taking one method, so just it will have some code. So this is my program. Okay, so now here, so as per the definition, it is what? Wrapping up of a data into a single unit. Wrapping up of your data into a single unit is called encapsulation. Okay, so this is my data. So here I have two variables and one method. So this is my data. Okay, so this is my data. So this data is binded. This data is binded in one class is called test. Okay, this data is binded and placed in one class is called a test. Okay, now this binding process can be done within a class. So the underlying or base of encapsulation is a class. Base of encapsulation feature. Base of encapsulation base of encapsulation is a class. Okay, so why means, so this whole process is done within one class. Okay, so that's why the base of encapsulation feature is what? A class. Okay, now here this encapsulation mainly talks about security. So this encapsulation mainly talks about security. Okay, so how? Okay, so how means, so suppose take an example. So wait, so let me take one example, encapsulation. Okay, suppose capsules. Okay, so capsule is nothing but what? So capsule consists of some medicine. Okay, capsule consists of some medicine. Okay, that medicine is wrapped in one capsule. Okay, and that capsule is closed. Okay, that capsule is closed. Okay, so why it is closed? Okay, why it is closed means, so suppose if you open that capsule, so see here, so this capsule consists of medicine. Okay, so if you open that capsule, what will happen means, so because of external factors or environment issues, so this here some chemical reaction may be formed. Okay, so that it will give what? Some abnormal results. Okay, so that's why this capsule must be closed. Okay, this capsule must be closed. Same the way here also we have security issues are there. Okay, sometimes you need to restrict some data to the user. Okay, sometimes you need to restrict some data to the user. Okay, now how can we restrict the data to the user, and how can we achieve this encapsulation feature, and how can we achieve this security? Means we have what? Access specifiers. We have access specifiers like, so public, private and protected. Okay, so public, private and protected. We have total 3 access specifier in Java. Okay, so by using this access specifier we can achieve encapsulation feature. Okay, by using this access specifier we can achieve encapsulation feature. Okay, so why we need to restrict the data means, so again take an example. So suppose we have a ATM. Okay, so suppose we have a ATM. So in ATM we have what? All these options: balance inquiry, withdrawal and deposit and everything. Okay, some services also there. So when you press on balance inquiry, it will display some balance. Okay, it will display some balance. Suppose in my account, so I have this figure. Okay, in my account I have this figure. So now now you need to display, just you need to display the amount, but you need to restrict the user to edit that what balance. Okay, if you are giving chance to edit, so what will happen? So that particular bank will affect. Okay, so that's why you must, some data you must restrict from the user. Okay, so because of this you need to encapsulate the data. Okay, because of this you need to encapsulate the data. So how can we encapsulate the data? Means by using access specifiers. By using access specifiers you can encapsulate your data. Suppose, so public means, so any class can access. Suppose if you declare the private, okay, so suppose if you declare a method as a private, so only this particular method you can access within the class. Okay, no other classes will not access this method. Okay, so likewise you can achieve what encapsulation feature in Java. Okay, likewise you can achieve encapsulation feature in Java. Yeah, next concept, inheritance. Next concept is inheritance. So inheritance is nothing but it is a process of acquiring one class property to another class. Inheritance is nothing but it is a process of acquiring one class property to another class, is called inheritance. Okay, inheritance is a relationship. Okay, it is a relationship. It is a relation. Okay, so so what is the inheritance? So how the properties are acquired from one class to another class, we will see. Okay, so first take an example here. So suppose, assume here I have three classes, class A, class B and class C. So class B is the child class of class A, means class A is the parent one and class B is the child, and class B is the parent of class C, and class C is a child of class B, right? So here it is assume it is one family hierarchy. Okay, so this is what parent and this is what child. So assume uh, the main objective of inheritance is the code reusability. The main objective of inheritance is code reusability. Okay, so the main objective of the inheritance is what? Code reusability. Now we will see an example. Suppose, assume, so this is the parent one and this is the child one. Okay, suppose we are getting the properties from our parents. Okay, so suppose take an example, surname. So our parent use some surname, the same surname we are using. Okay, this is one property. Okay, and another properties like our blood group, our genes, and our natural things, our color and everything we will get from our parents, right? So same the way, suppose if you take my father having the property like, so he have what 100 crore, sorry 1 crore rupee, assume, so he might have 1 crore rupee. Okay, so now class A is rich. Class A is rich means my parent is rich. Okay, because of he having 1 crore rupee. Okay, so because of my property, because of my father property, now I am the rich. Now I am also rich. Why? Because I am enjoying my father property. Okay, so why class B is rich? Why not some other? Means because of this parent and child relationship. Okay, because of this parent and child relationship, so whatever the property your father having, the property will be applicable to you and your children. Okay, whatever the property your father having, that property will be applicable to you and your children. Okay, the same exact concept you can apply to programmatically. Means, so whatever the code written in class A, that code you can use your child classes. Okay, whatever the code written in class A, that code you can use or your children can use. Means, suppose take an example. Suppose take an example. I have a class A. And this class A having some 100 lines of code. Assume some 100 lines of code. So I'm closing this. Okay, and so have one more class is there, class B. Okay, so these two are two individual classes. Now I want to use A class properties in B. Okay, I want to use A class properties in B. Okay, so here there is no relation. This is one individual class and this is one individual class, so there is no relationship between these two classes, so it is not possible. Okay, it is not possible. So we need to establish one relation, that is a parent and child relation. How can we establish this inheritance? Means, how can we establish this parent and child relationship? Means, so we need to use extends keyword, extends A. Okay, now B is child class, now A is a parent one. Okay, now so A is what? Parent class and B is what? Child class. So why? Means here we are using extends keyword. Okay, by using extends we can achieve inheritance feature. Okay, now you can B class can be access A class information. Okay, so whatever the code written in A class, that can be used here. Means in B class it can be accessed what? A class information. Okay, so suppose in A class, so I have 1000 lines of code. Let's say that entire code here you can use. Okay, if you want to use, you can use in class B. Okay, so the main motto of inheritance is the code reusability. Okay, the main motto of, or the main objective of inheritance is what? Code reusability. Now how can we achieve inheritance? Means by using extends keyword. Okay, so what is the how to work with the inheritance, how to write the code, and we'll see programmatically in future classes. So we have a detailed discussion on this topic, so there we will discuss. Okay, next one is a polymorphism. Okay, so polymorphism means many forms. As name suggests, it is what? Poly means many. Okay, and morph means it's a form. Okay, many form. Okay, so means, what is the polymorphism? Means performing a single task in many ways is called what? Polymorphism. Okay, or we can define a polymorphism like this. So it is what? Ability to show more than one form is called polymorphism. Okay, ability to show more than one form is called polymorphism. Okay, so in Java program we can achieve polymorphism by method overloading and overriding. Okay, so in Java, how can we achieve polymorphism? Means by using method overloading and method overriding concepts we can achieve polymorphism. Okay, suppose take an example. So I have a class test. Here I'm taking class test. So in this class I have two methods. Here I'm taking sample here I'm taking two methods. So that is what public int sum. Okay, public int sum. So here I'm taking two variables, so that is what int a comma int b. Int a comma int b, return a plus b, return a plus b. Here means it perform what? Addition operation. So after that same program or same method here I'm taking, but instead of int here I'm taking some floating value, that is what? Double, D-O-U-B-L, double. So here also double, take double and take double, means double is nothing but it's a fractional floating values. Okay, now so this is my sample program. So method overloading. Okay, so here method name is a sum and method name is a sum. Okay, method is nothing but in C program it is a function, in Java it is called a method. Okay, yeah, so here I have a two methods, sum and sum. Okay, so these two methods performs what? Addition operation, but this sum is in this case it perform what? Integer addition. In this case it perform integer addition, and in this case it perform what? Floating addition. Okay, floating point addition. Okay, so at runtime user may enter integer value so that it will execute, this method will be executed. At runtime user may enter what? Some floating value, so at that time this method will be called. Okay, means this sum method is performing two tasks here, that is what? Integer addition and floating point addition. Okay, this process is called polymorphism. This process is called polymorphism. Okay, so actually, so this method overloading and method overriding, and here we have a detailed discussion. So at least it takes 2 to 3 sessions. So there I will discuss in detail. Okay, as of now you just focus on what concept. So what is a polymorphism? So polymorphism is nothing but it is what? Performing a single task in many ways is called polymorphism, or ability to show more than one form is called polymorphism. Okay, so this is about a brief introduction of object oriented principles. Okay, and each and every principle will learn in coming classes, and there I will discuss in detail. Okay, thank you.